positions, cleared the table to win a big frame. Could that be a pivotal frame in this final? Robertson needs 2, Jack Lisowski needs 4 frames for his first ever, or rather his second ranking final, but it would be his first ever appearance in the top 16. So a huge amount at stake for Lisowski, up against one of the best match players in the business. It was always going to be a big test for him, wasn't it, Neil? Could he get the better of a player of Robertson's caliber over this distance? Well, he might still, but he's got quite a bit to do now.
Yeah, you just feel that, you know, that he's lost his way a little bit. But Robertson has, I think, played beautifully to take those frames, including a very fine clearance. Interesting match. Robertson just in front, but Lisowski, I don't think he's done with the way he's queuing.
From 13, Jack Lisowski to break.
So Jack Lisowski breaking off in a frame he surely has to win. 3 down with 4 to play. With the way Neil Robertson is queuing now, would be a very tall order indeed.
Yes, I guess it was the way that, you know, he started, really, this evening session. Lisowski so well. For him to come out of it behind is probably quite difficult to take.
Yeah, 3 of the last 4 frames that Robertson has won, he's won on the final pink, which shows you that they've been very tight and could have gone against him, but he's produced the goods under pressure, and that's what it's all about in a match of this importance.
And Robertson's safety shot again was a good one. And that was even better. He was forced into it because Robertson had cut off one side of the table. That's a stunning long pot. I don't think right now anyone in the world is potting balls better at range than this man.
Wow, has he come too far? His body language suggests it's tight. Looked a bit anxious there for a moment.
Something. I think you're right. It makes me believe that he's super confident in his ability not only to just to play well, but you know, he fancies the job now. Some of the closer frames, I think, almost shaped the match.
Very much so, not least the second of the evening. It's quite a tense affair, quite lengthy, quite a tactical frame, which Lisowski led for quite some time and was looking to go 6-4 up. At that stage he was the better player, outscoring Robertson. Crucially, Robertson took it, and since then he's moved up the gears, and now he looks the stronger.
9.
Well, again, high-value colours are out of play except the blue, so getting meaningful break here won't be simple.
15. 16. 21. 22.
Well, this changes everything, but he's not straight on the black. Say getting the black into play would be a big bonus. Safe to say that these aren't playing tight. They're playing on tables at some points of the season where you wouldn't fancy one of those. They've been generous to the point where there's an argument they're slightly too big. I wouldn't normally say that, but it seems that way along the cushion.
30.
It seems highly likely that we're going to get to 100 centuries for the week. We're on 98 at the moment, with the final, of course, still to come, as well as what's ever left in this semi. Amazing, really, that Robertson's highest break in this match remains 66, which by his standards is low, but those key clearances, 40 odd, that he's produced at least 3 times now.
I feel this is a big shot. Bunch aren't particularly wide. He could skim off them if he doesn't hit it right. Out the table. Oh, he's played it really well. He deserves to be on one. They've always glanced away from them, but not the way he hit it.
45.
You can always tell when Robertson's feeling good about his game because his pace goes up. He's got a really fine tempo now. He's buzzing around the table. Purposeful in his body language, fancying the job.
$46.
And this could be a big break. First things first, to make the frame safe, put him 3 up with 4 to play.
52. 53.
All of these, of course, the result of Lisowski playing a loose shot after the disappointment of running out of position
59.
off a brilliant opening red. You saw his frustration.
60.
And it looks like Robertson's going to punish him to the full. Frame ball, barring snookers.
Yeah, it's been a particularly good break. Bingham Black were tied
66.
up when he arrived at the table. Shouldn't underestimate.
67.
Sometimes breaks like this are really important. And he's starting to pull away now. And you're right, he maybe hasn't been scoring in the same weight today, but I get the feeling he's warming to the task at the right moment, because Lisowski has made him, I think, pull out more.
75.
Well, you made the point that at 5-4 with Lisowski in front, you felt as though Robertson was hanging on just a little bit. He was being outplayed at that stage, and it was such a big frame. And he won it on merit. Did that excellent yellow with the rest.
83.
And since then, he's really stepped on the gas.
$87. 88.
Century number 30 of the season looming large. You can be sure he'll want it. He's hungry for centuries, just as Stephen Hendry used to be. Once took advice from Hendry about how to improve his break building technique. And then made 103 centuries in a season, so I don't know whether Hendry was on a bonus there, but...
94.
Shot on the brown to the yellow was a very good shot, actually. Cued it around 2 cushions. Almost a stun run through. It's a lovely shot. Yeah, he's cueing ever so well now, and you know, he's been, like you say, last couple of seasons have not been quite as high a standard as he wanted. A couple of disappointments, but I think right now his game looks right as if it's there, and yeah.
106.
Be a brave man to say wouldn't win this match now, 8-5 up. He's all over Lisowski in the same way that he was just being a bit defensive early on and trying to hold on to Lisowski. Brilliant.
Century number 588 from Neil Robertson. He's 4th on the all-time list behind O'Sullivan, Hendry and Higgins, and he's now 1 away from the International Championship final. He leads Jack Lisowski. Neil Robertson has produced some really sparkling snooker when he needed it most. Jack Lisowski has asked plenty of questions of him today. 5-4 up at one stage. But Robertson has won the tight frames in this session with some really good pressure clearances, and he's turned it on in the previous frame after Lisowski showed a bit of frustration, running out of position, then playing a loose one. And Robertson didn't allow him back at the table. His first century of the semi-final, his 30th century of the season already, and he's 1 frame away from meeting Mark Allen for the title. What's Lisowski got left? That's the question.
Foul.
Very tough from here.
Robertson 4.
Yes, it's tough, and I think he's capable of reeling off quick frames. Maybe the pressure feels off him now. I think he's played really well in this match and in this whole tournament. It would be nice to see someone like Lisowski make the breakthrough, because the same old faces are winning, and
Not sure I can get the hook out.
we're trying to get the ball set up just to say, because the Champion of Champions is coming up this week, and so many players are doubly entered in it, or more so, because the same guys keep winning.
Yeah, I mean, the whole theory of the Champion of Champions is that it's just that. Champions, winners of tournaments, but if you don't have enough winners, then you have to round out the draw with the players in the rankings, in the highest positions, and that's exactly the scenario that we're faced with the Ricoh Arena around the corner. The likes of Judd, Trump and Ding Junhui are there, but they haven't won a tournament in the last 12 months.
Foul.
Now, Lisowski's under it here. He's going to have to play a different shot, because, of course, he can see that red full ball. And he can't afford, surely, to play the thin snick now. Otherwise, he'll be shaking Neil Robertson's hand and getting a plane home.
Well, I agree. He can't do it again. That would be unwise. Just, question of get the balls getting replaced correctly. I'm guessing he can see a red full on. That's the other question. And that's it. Under those.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not.
No warning.
You've got to be able to see it full ball. And that's why he did play the shot again, and this time he's played it well.
The other interesting thing, just briefly about that tournament coming up, is they're playing on a different brand of table next week, which is a one-off. I think there should be more of that, I understand that the current company, Star, have control of the tables. They have a contract, but what would be wrong with the game where you play in different continents perhaps and you play on different tables? Snooker is such a similar game from that regard. A different table every now and then, it would keep the players thinking a bit, wouldn't it? But that tournament next week comes under slightly different auspices. It's a matchroom event, so the table they're using will look different to the ones they'll still have 6 pockets on it, I hope, and that's really that's all it should count.
Yes, Sean Murphy, of course, is defending his title, so he'll be the top seed, and then the seeds from there on in determined by ranking rather than those players who've won tournaments. Neil Robertson, of course, is there. winner in Riga this season already.
There's an argument, you know, when you look at Jack Lisowski. I think he missed a trick in an event earlier in this season. It wasn't one of the biggest ranking events. Just like, he seems to have lost his way a bit here now, but I think he could have won the Paul Hunter this year. He lost in the end on a re-spotted black to Peter Lyons in the quarter-finals.
Mobile phone going off meanwhile, and Peggy Lee beseeching the culprit to switch it off.
The point I'm making is that, you know, the Paul Hunter, as named, wonderfully named after a great player, I should first say that. But as far as the points tariff and prize money tariff, it's not a big one. But it is a ranking event, and Kyron Wilson won it. And Jack Lisowski lost a match. Well, I'm amazed he lost at the time to Peter Lyons, and that could have been his ranking tournament under his belt, and he could have gone from sense of strength from there. You know, that's the thing.
And we saw with Ryan Day last season the significance of landing that first piece of silverware. It took Ryan a long time to do it, and then he promptly won 2 more tournaments. And talking of Paul Hunter, of course, Jack Lisowski was awarded the Paul Hunter Scholarship by the WPBSA back in 2009. It feels as though he's younger than just 27 years of age. But he has been around quite some time now. It's good to see that he has made a breakthrough this season with a lot more consistency than he's shown at any other stage of his career to date. It's that next hurdle to overcome to win that first big tournament, and then who knows.
Well, the thing is, Philip, he's a very, very good player, and he's won with an abundance of talent. And
6.
we see a lot of snooker, and it excites me to watch him play, you know, because he's got something. But it's piecing everything together and turning him into a champion, and that's going to be the hard bit. But he's on his way, and he's really a joy to watch.
7.
He certainly is. He's good for the game, and it will be great to see him get into the top 16. Of course, were he to produce a stirring fight back here and make the final, he would be in the 16 for the first time. He's talked this week about how that is very much an ambition, and he's knocking on the door now, even if he loses today. As Neil
40.
mentioned, he'll have other chances. Northern Ireland Open coming up, and the UK Championship as well, both qualifying events for the Masters. But it's a real dogfight, actually, with the Masters in mind in the new year.
15.
Getting into that 16, there's a lot of players on similar sorts of points. So it's going to be a fascinating tussle to see who does get in.
He's absolutely furious with himself. He's gone too far for the black. What's he do now? Does he play the blue? This is where he can come unstuck if he's not careful. Playing a shot with the last shot in his mind still.
Well, that's what he's capable of.
Yeah, and it went in. You've got to say, when they go in, it's fine.
20.
Whether that was a percentage shot, I don't know.
Here's another good one.
21.
Yeah, well cued. That wasn't easy. And he's controlled the cue ball very nicely.
I think that's what I would say about this match. If you could find fault in him so far, it's that his cue ball has not been under perfect control. He's let it run a little bit, and on that basis,
28.
you know, he.
$29. $36. 37.
Well, that might be okay. That's quite a good shot now, for once he has got right in behind the next ball. Well, this time, though, I don't think he has played it well.
43.
Well, he's got another one of these recovery blues, which he seems to knock in for fun, but they're always difficult. They never become any easier. That is just beautiful cueing. Delight to watch.
49. 50.
Well, this
57.
is Lisowski at his fluent best once again.
58. 65. 66. 73. 74.
Well, this is just a superb break, and he just can't keep him down for long. You know, he's got something very special. Just when you thought that maybe his resolve had been broken, he comes and makes a break like this. It's so fluent and so classy.
Yeah, and a couple of pots which were very tough to retrieve the situation, which had he missed them, well, could have been his last pots of the tournament. But he is a special talent, Lisowski. They don't come along very often, players like this, players that are so good to watch that the game comes so easily to.
That's the key, Philip, isn't it? I mean, we know snooker's a difficult game. Anyone that watched me play, I'm living proof of that. It's a difficult game.
Oh, you're too modest.
But there are players who make it look like a very easy game, and O'Sullivan is one.
85.
And I would say that Lisowski is a left-handed version of O'Sullivan. Of course, without the silverware, I have to put that in because it's true. He just makes the game look like it's an easy game to play.
And professional sport, lest we forget, is about entertainment as well as winning, and this guy provides plenty of that.
Yeah, he's an entertainer. He wins with grace, and he's only a couple of frames behind now. Robertson thought he'd broken him, but he hasn't. Well, I think the pockets are okay, aren't they, on this table? I think
100 at last.
100.
Walking back to his seat.
101.
It is, yeah. Of course, Robertson made 119 just now for 99, and this is the 100th of the tournament. Extraordinary, really. Well, maybe those corner pockets have been more receptive than usual, but this is tremendous from Lisowski. On the brink of defeat.
108.
It's not been a straightforward break by any means, but he's made it look so. And he's not done yet. Now 2 down with 3 to play. That is by no means an insurmountable task. And he's just reminding Neil Robertson that there's plenty left in the tank if he gets the chance.
115. 120.
Yeah, it's been a tremendous break. That black that went in for the century. I don't want to diminish what he's doing. I'd like to see these templates because they are bigger, I think, than what I've seen all season.
126.
But this break has been absolutely magnificent.
average of 133. A clearance from Jack Lisowski. The crowd enjoyed that, and no wonder. Neil Robertson still needs one frame, but Lisowski is back in the hunt. He trails 8-6.
Well, he's playing with that little bit of freedom now that you sometimes get when you're on the brink of defeat. You think that someone 8-5 down and should play with a bit of tension in their arm, but as a player I can tell you it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes the pressure comes off and a few pots go in. I think that's where he's at. If he can sustain that, of course he could still win this match, but pressure tends to come back on you after a while.
5.
Quite how he's going to get the bunch open, don't know here. Not sure if the very bottom red on the right goes anywhere, and the one on the left perhaps as well. So he might be able to keep the break going.
Ten. 11.
Problem he's got here, if he pots the black, then where does the break keep going? There's the one red sticking out. Possibly a double. I think that's about it.
Eighteen.
Well, all good things have to come to an end sometimes.
18.
It's hard to see how he could go on and score heavily there.
One of those frames looming then where the reds head up towards the wrong end of the table and the safety is played down at the top end. Oh, that was perilously close to going wrong, and it's ended up going wrong because pushed the red over the pocket, so scrabble that. Chance for Robertson to get in at the business end.
One.
Sat out the previous frame to that brilliant clearance from Lisowski. Robertson will be very aware that his opponent still carries a major threat with his shot-making ability and his break-building class, but with that in mind, he wants this done and dusted as quickly as possible.
Yes, I mean, the point is, if you get to 8-5, as he did, now you need one more, and he's earned the right to say that he's got a 1 foot in the final on that, how he's played, but you've still got to get the other foot in.
9.
As sometimes, cliche or not, the last frame can be the most difficult to win.
Yeah, Robertson knows that better than anyone because, of course, he benefited from it in the Scottish Open final at the back end of last year when he was 4 down with 5 to play in the final against Chow Yu-Peng, who just couldn't quite get over the line. Ended up winning to break what was for him quite a barren run.
Quite like the pace he played that. He didn't go into them
14.
hell for leather, you know. It was a very measured shot. And the red split, and none of them went on the cushion because he didn't overhit it.
15.
Yes, he'll be certainly looking to get over the line as quickly as he can here. Obvious statement, but he just doesn't want Lisowski back at the table because he's looking dangerous again.
He's missed the blue.
Robertson,
Now
15.
then, perhaps thinking a little bit more about where the cue ball was going to end up there. Just took his eye off the angle of the pot.
Surprising, isn't it? Didn't see that coming. But I think you're right. Divided concentration.
1.
Well, Lisowski might have to play the black here, which, even though that pocket seems quite big at the moment, you know, from there you can miss.
Eight.
Now, he wouldn't really want to play the blue here. The reason for that is when it
No.
respots, it makes the red that's going to be, well, in the middle of the table, that is in the middle of the table, a slightly difficult one to take on with the blue blocking it off. So that's why he didn't play the blue, and it was clearly the easiest colour to take.
15. And
once again, just his cue ball. His touch is not as good as the rest of his game today. That's a fine recovery shot, though. It was a natural, but he played it well.
21.
As a neutral here, you feel that you want Lisowski to win this frame, just to see more of this match. It's terrific. If you're a Robertson fan, you just want the winning line to emerge. But he's not in sight of it just yet.
Twenty-eight. $29.
The lead, still 59 on the table.
36.
So just one more red. And it looks like back-to-back frames, and Neil Robertson will have something to think about.
Yes, because he missed one, didn't he? It wasn't as if sometimes you would just not get a chance. He was in. He missed a blue, which I was surprised he missed, and I know you were. And he sat there and had time to think about it ever since. His temperament is very strong, but you can do nothing sitting down in your chair watching.
But it always hurts more when it's an error of your making that leads your opponent in for a frame-winning break like this one. And this match is very much back on again. At 8-5, it was looking a little bit grim for Jack Lisowski with the way Robertson had really upped his level, but 8-7, a lot more
60.
promising. He's not allowed his head to drop. He's kept fighting, and he's produced some really excellent snooker to win those 2 consecutive frames and just plant the seed of doubt in the mind of that gentleman, who still needs 1, but now Jack Lisowski needs just 2. What a cracking semi-final. 2. Robertson needs 1, and this match, Neil, is right back up for grabs again.
It is. I think 8-5, Lisowski, the pressure comes off him, but at 8-7, the pressure's on the pair of them now.
And of course, we've got the final to look forward to tomorrow. Mark Allen already safely through. He's got the day off today, of course, after his victory over Matthew Stevens. We're on air very early in the morning. That's 5 to 7 Central European time. So if you're watching in the UK, set your alarms, because it's going to be 5 to 6 at the start of our coverage of the first session, and then 25 past 11 on Eurosport 1 for the finale. And of course the final is the best of 19 frames, the first to 10, so there'll be 9 in the first session, possible 10 in the deciding session.
And well, whoever's in it, it's a terrific final. I mean, Mark Allen is playing out of his skin, and this match has been also absolutely superb, so you wouldn't want to miss that. The conditions are good, the tables are playing comfortably, so I think we can expect a high scoring match, whoever's in it, to play Mark Allen.
From 16, Neil Robertson to break.
Neil Robertson still in front, but only by the odd frame now, as he breaks off in frame 16 of a possible 17.
That the black didn't go into play here. I mean, he could easily have got himself on the black. He's still just, if you like, throwing his cue at them, isn't he, Lisowski? Which, as I say, can make him an extremely dangerous player if he's got that mindset that he doesn't feel under any extra pressure as the match gets closer and closer to the line. Robertson doesn't really want to play off the bunch here. He doesn't want to get them open and get Lisowski in and scoring in freely again. He could happily handle this frame being a bit of a nip and tuck affair and a nervy one without any big breaks. Robertson probably feels he could win that frame. Just needs to stem the flow of the Lisowski pots. Another terrific pot. I mean, how he got in from that. Now, he may look at the green here. Surprised he hasn't. Yellow might think it goes into the bunch as well. Thought the green was a perfect angle to get into the side of the bunch. Never give it any consideration. Maybe he felt the yellow was easily more accessible.
Check Lisowski 3.
What do you do about this? Robertson just can't leave the cue ball anywhere at the moment if there's a red on.
Well, there comes a time, I think, where you say to yourself, well, the only way I can stop him from potting them is just to pot them myself.
Just about sneaked in, not cleanly, and as you say, the dynamic is slightly different now, isn't it? Lisowski
6.
looked pretty much down and out at 8-5. At 8-7, he can now believe that he can win this match, and of course that heaps
7.
extra pressure on his shoulders, so it'll be interesting to see how he handles this, because he's not been in this situation very often, of course, the chance to make a major final.
Well, I don't know why he had to hit them quite that hard, and I think that's why he didn't get into them, because
12.
he put a bit of screw on the ball and it's now time to react. He seems to be happier when he can play with reckless abandon, but sometimes at this game you can't really do that. You can't always play that way. What he does do is makes it very entertaining to watch.
Check Lisowski
And he's
12.
played a decent safety, having failed to split the pack as he wanted. For all sorts of reasons, this would be the biggest win of Jack Lisowski's life. He'd be appearing in his biggest final. His only previous one, of course, Riga this season, when he lost to Robertson. It will be his biggest ever payday, a guaranteed 75,000. And therefore his biggest ever hoard of ranking points. It will put him in the top 16 in the world, and will give him the chance to get into the Champion of Champions if he goes on to beat Mark Allen. So for multiple reasons, the next few minutes very, very important in the life of Jack Lisowski.
Yes, it's the kind of stuff we can talk about, but he doesn't want to be thinking about, isn't it? Because it can really change the way that you approach something. You know, the fact that he'll just leapfrog a lot of players, and he'll be in strong positions to be playing in the Masters and the like. Anyway, it's not this frame. He needs to win this and the next.
One.
That's not a great kiss. Blue is not a natural to come down for a red. That's his problem. Get to within 4 or 5 feet of a red by just rolling it in.
Six. Seven.
Well, again, he's in control at this stage, although the value colours are not straightforward. Could use the pink on its spot, I think, at the first opportunity. Don't think he'll be worried about the black for now. nice time to make that 45 or 50. Not set your sights too high at this point. Just do what needs to be done.
12. $13.
Peggy Lee really takes some care over cleaning the cue ball. Good old polish. Of course, there's no guarantee that that'll guard against future kicks, but it's a psychological thing as much as anything for a player, I think, when they've had a poor contact. $19. $25. $26.
He's done quite a lot of hard work to make this break happen, and as I said, he's got the pink now on its spot, so he can pursue the task of getting this frame one and the match one here. I think the right hand red of the two close together. He's just looking to see if it will pot from somewhere up the table. Of course, if it does, then it really has opened everything up, and it could well be match over.
32. $33.
All Lisowski can do now is hope for an error and be ready if it comes.
Yes, Robertson looks as if he's ready to close out this match here.
39.
It needs to be fairly straight on the pink if that's what he's
40.
playing on, because of the red to the right of it. I think he's pleased with it. I think he's okay.
$46. $47.
The lead now is 37 points. Red, pink, and he'll be in the final, barring snookers.
53. 54.
He must be feeling pretty good about things now. The next red is there as well. It's been a thoroughly enjoyable match. Robertson continues his good form in beating Mark Selby. He's beaten two players who are playing near their best. I think in the final he's also playing a guy that's near his best in Mark Allen.
60.
It's been a thoroughly enjoyable tournament. We've seen some sparkling breaks.
61.
We've seen a couple of centuries in this session, including that brilliant 1-3-3 from Jack Lisowski to keep his hopes alive, and he certainly asked the question of Neil Robertson to close to within one, but Robertson in champion fashion has responded with a frame-winning
67.
break, a match-winning break, and the chance to play for his 15th ranking title. 51 the difference, just 35 there, and there is the handshake. Terrific match. Yet more evidence that Jack Lisowski is really growing as a match player. He's getting there, slowly but surely. But that first ranking title remains elusive. For Neil Robertson, the chance to play for the International Championship after another terrific tussle. He's beaten Jack Lisowski by 9 frames to 7.